The Bean Counter to Boss podcast is powered by XBert. XBert is the AI data and workflow management kit for bookkeepers and accountants, keeping your data clean and boosting productivity. Automate manual bookkeeping checks and streamline your entire workflow. XBert is your trusted sidekick, tirelessly checking the data for errors and helping you manage workflow easily. Process, visibility, and data quality control in one AI-driven system. If you're interested in trying XBert for free, visit our website at www.xbert.io, where you can start a 2-week free trial.
Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the Bean Counter to Boss podcast powered by XBert. Today we are going to be talking tech first, so modern tools for a modern practice. I know this has been one that I've been looking forward to, especially obviously being from the vendor side of the tracks. So what we're going to cover off, so some like essential tech stacks. So obviously we'll talk about the incumbents, the Xeros, the QuickBooks, and then other tools that you might be using in your practice like XBert, Ignition, other products, and then talk about kind of how you built them into your workflows, how you're automating processes, how you're communicating with clients, etc. But also, I think as part of that, maybe talking about how you go about choosing those softwares. Who do you speak to? Do you have a process that you define a process with the team to get the team involved, etc. So we'll really dig into that across both of your businesses and your experiences, obviously, as well. So I think probably best just to start, like, what are your tech stacks? What have you got? What are you using? What's your kind of core day-to-day? Well, yeah, I always go with Amy first. I'm just going to chat to James first because I feel like he gets left out.
Oh my God, I'm privileged. Well, blimey, yeah. So I've got to try and remember everything now what we use. That's a good question. So obviously we have our Xero, QuickBooks and Free Agent, the bookkeeping and accounting software that the clients use. As much as Amy gives me grief over that, for us that means that we can find the package that suits the client. It's not necessarily we just want to put our eggs into one basket. If people do, Amy, that's fine. You know, I'm not going to criticise. But
I'll hold it back until it's my turn.
Okay, fair enough. But so that we use those. Obviously, we've got some people going on to Sage a bit more as well. So obviously, Sage are coming back into the game with their products. So we've got that. Obviously, we're very lucky to be able to use XBert, which is a big part of our practice and how we hook it onto the software, the Xeros, the QuickBooks, to sort of help the team identify things quicker. And then obviously from there, we're actually using it to build management packs to send out to clients. So we're keen on using this particular tool. And equally, when we're looking at prospects, it's great because obviously we're starting to use that to identify if the system needs sorting out before even taking them on. So obviously we use those. We use Fathom, obviously, with management reporting. Our practice management software is Engager, and equally, obviously, we use TaxCalc for accounts production and tax returns. We use Go Cardless to sweep up all the fees, which probably will change to Adfin very quickly soon. Obviously, looking at so we're making things going, and we're looking to bring in AdSim as well to sort of further enhance our services to clients to identify when they're paying their taxes or what's outstanding. So I think I've covered everything there, but yeah.
The software
short
just
and
gets
sweet.
It's either start with an X or an ad.
Yeah, basically. yeah, things like that.
There's a gap in the middle.
yeah, just A or X. That's it. Nothing in between.
Anyway, so keep it simple. Don't worry about the other letters in the alphabet, and then we're fine.
Yeah. No. Cool. And what's in yours? We'll get into the conversation about choosing a ledger platform further down. Don't for that, because I'm probably semi James's camp on that, but we can crack on.
It's what you're comfortable with, and this is what I say to people: don't feel that you need to follow everyone else. You're your own person. It's what you feel comfortable with. Me and James have quite similar practices now. We were definitely different at the start, but we don't have the same tech stack. So what I do have as the same is TaxCalc. I found that was quite good on the compliance side, the pricing side of it, monthly subscription models, whereas a lot of the bigger boys like CCH and Iris were like thousands of pounds, which I didn't have at the start. I didn't have investment. I didn't want it. So the monthly subscription model worked for me. I predominantly use QuickBooks. I do use many other softwares that my clients come to me with. I'm quite comfortable with that, but we'll delve into the whys and wheres of that later. Another software I used right from the start was Ignition, which Will thankfully introduced me to back in the day.
That seems like something.
That was... it was at the time. It was the ACCA Ignition were partnering with the ACCA, so I didn't I was getting paid by standing order, and I was just doing my invoices from QuickBooks. And actually, being introduced to Ignition meant that it was all in one: proposal, engagement letter, all the ACCA engagement letters were in there. So I was winning. I was saving time in trying to do work. I was doing Word engagement letters back then, 2 years ago. And then collects all the money all in one program. So that has been I've stuck with that. Practice management software. I have moved multiple times in practice management software. I'm currently with Engager. I don't use it all. I use it mainly as my CRM portal system. But obviously TaxCalc has an e-sign as well. So I use a combination between the two. I was a Dex fan. I moved to Apron purely on pricing. To me, they're exactly the same, but I moved there. And on the others, yes, I use Fathom. Management reporting, as James does. AdSum. Really love AdSum. That's saving me time in clients. So that's another portal where clients can go and see their tax liabilities direct from HMRC, but on one page. You're not clicking in and clicking out, having to find out all the information about when your taxes are due and the amounts. So that's saving me time. So that's a new one that I've had in the last couple of months. Yeah, I feel like I'm missing some. I mean, when you start writing them down, yes, there's a lot of A's. Yes, there's a lot of X's. There are some in the middle, but I always seem to forget some. The note takers.
Yeah.
We'll probably talk about
AI. I forgot those.
Yeah, I'm a Fireflies fan,
Same
even
here,
though
I
might be moving everything into my Microsoft space soon. Basically, the gist is technology is really helping me in my practice, and it's constantly moving, and I'm constantly looking at new things. So by the time this comes out, I've probably got another bit of kit as well.
Yeah, exactly. Adding to, like you're saying, the Dex journey is quite interesting. We were on Dex. We came off Dex for the same reason.
Are you back on Dex?
Apron, but also there's another great bit tool coming out by another software company that just happens to randomly really good that we use that I've mentioned before without being saying too much about them.
Does it start with an X?
Yeah, funny enough, it does. Yeah.
Got a few exciting things to share with you, Dave. We'll catch up. We'll catch up after this. So, just obviously, you've got quite a few systems there that you're using, and where have you found the challenges with kind of choosing the right software? Like, Amy, I know you said you moved around quite a lot, and you've sort of chopped and changed and done that. I think a lot of firms maybe don't do that as much as they probably should. What was the kind of reasoning behind that? Was it just you wanted to find the best tools and not just settle for one that was maybe doing most of what you wanted when there was other things that might be better? But what was the reasoning? What would you do to kind of encourage other practices to maybe take the same sort of mentality?
I think that with the fast moving AI automation environment that we're in, there is software out there that can help us with all of our pain points. And some of them, pain points that you didn't even know existed. We are as accountants and bookkeepers, we do love to tick and bash and get down to that penny and whatnot, that we're so involved in the work that we don't realize how much sometimes how much time these tasks are taking.
Totally
And
agree.
it's only when you talk to other accountants and they're like, oh my God, they're using a bot to go in and do a bank reconciliation. I haven't got that yet, by the way. That's on my to-do list.
There's a really good kit coming out. Another bit of software company that's probably enough begins with X as well. But
oh my God, there's going to be bots. So exciting. But yeah, I think we need to. I'm staying in tune with the changes that are happening with all different softwares and what other people are using, because I need time back. We can get so involved with our clients, and we, even on the doing more advisory, it does translate into more work for us, which is the aim. So we need to be more selective about what we're doing. So if there's tools out there that can help us with more of the repetitive tasks, and even not repetitive tasks, it's going in and it's advising now as well and giving us the tools to advise even more. We've got to keep moving. We've got to keep going. Disclaimer, I do like shiny new things. And I will
you're a
try
magpie,
things.
aren't you?
I'll try things, but I'm quite happy if they don't work to stop them and move on to something else. I still do my workflows on Excel. When I've spoken to other people and when I've been on stage, they're like, what? You've got all this technology, but your workflows in Excel. That works for me and my small team.
And I think that's the crucial message to put across, isn't it? That's working for you because you've got a small team. Therefore, there is an element, a big control thing there that's able to be, that works well. It's when possibly you've got a far bigger practice that might then start to creak, and therefore you need a better system or a software product to be in place to control that workflow. I'm with you on that. That you shouldn't be afraid to try things or be afraid to start something and go, it's not working, stop it. We've done that a couple of times ourselves and been on that journey, and it's crucial because you really have to, like you say, it's got to really work for you. And if it means you go back to the basics, you go back to the basics.
Yeah, and I think just from speaking from a vendor's perspective, I think a lot of firms maybe go too deep too quick. Like they don't have their processes defined and the way that they want to work as a business before they start looking at all of these shiny new tech tools that come in. It doesn't matter how much AI you bring into your business. If you haven't got your core SOPs and processes defined, it's not going to help you. Like there's no way that it's going to solve the problem if you haven't kind of identified the core way that you want your practice to run. And I think that's really important.
We'll be refreshingly honest. We're using a particular payroll software at the moment, and they've promised us. Like, we were on desktop. They were in the cloud now. We were told it was ready. We are actually, I think, us and a few others are their guinea pigs. It's not working. Now I could easily rip it up and then go and move to another product I'm looking at very closely at. But at the moment, I'm giving them. I'm thinking actually this is a good opportunity for us. We're really developing this for them. This is really good for us. Gives the team better insights into how the systems work, which actually we've then realized we've actually got gaps in our processes when we're offering the payroll service. So we're tightening those up. So it can work, and it can work that way as well.
I think there's like a fear in a lot of practices as well with going on to different technologies, the time aspect of it. Because if you think your payroll example, if you were going to move your payrolls mid-year, all of them, which is historically a tedious thing to do and can cause so many problems, that kind of might influence your decision. And I'm finding more as there is more technology and there is changes, and I do want to keep up with the times, and I do want to get things that are beneficial to us and our clients. I kind of need a person as well to assist with that, like a non-accountant.
But just to play with the software.
Yeah, to go and actually explore the technology and see what's best. But like you said, Will, you've got to have your processes documented first, because if you're going to get a non-accountant to help you looking at that kind of stuff, you need to have it all documented, see where your pain points are, and then explore the software around that.
I think what you've just said there is like, that's been shown that more firms are looking at doing that, exactly that, having people coming in and reviewing that. That's been seen in the explosion of all these consultants that have come out recently, right? We did a bit of work with a few, we've got like Luke Farron at the Modern Firm is a great one. Obviously, Ryan Piercy does a lot as well, and there's a few area owners set up Vault as well. So there's loads of these kind of they are accountants, but they've seen a gap in the market where it's not just the big firms that need those kind of digital transformation people. It is the sort of smaller or mid-tier firms that also can get involved in that process. And it maybe you haven't got the resources to employ someone full time to sit in there, but 100%, if you can bring someone in on a contract basis to sit with you for a couple of weeks or a couple of days a week for a month or 6 weeks and just review your whole tech stack, then that's really invaluable, I think. And it is showing to me that the kind of the small or medium-sized firms in the market are taking that step towards actually kind of modernizing their practices. Of course, there's still a lot that are like filing cabinets, receipts in a drawer, and like all of that. But there are lots like you guys, and there are lots that are kind of moving forward. Maybe it's the older partner's retiring and the son's taking over, or it might be that someone's bought them out, or they've gone into a slightly sort of larger practice and buying them up. And it's just forcing them to change and modernize their practice. I think that's really good.
I totally agree with that. I don't say it's maybe the partners who realise that they're realising that their practice, if they're coming to exit, it's not actually sellable because of where what they use. So therefore, they're having to modernise to get into a position to then exit themselves. How many times do we hear that accountants and bookkeepers, where they're so heavily involved, the business is so reliant on them that if they weren't around, it doesn't exist. It just wouldn't exist.
Yeah,
I think it's a sign of the times, really. Anyway, in our industry, that people want things more real time. I want everything real time. I want my Amazon in 12 hours. Next day is not enough. People are communicating more on social media, and they're beginning to understand what technology can do to help them. I've got clients coming to me that have never used any form of ledger. It's still manual. I had a guy that came in that had manual. It took me back 20 years. It was nostalgic, but at the same time, it's like, is your accountant not actually spoken to you about just getting a QuickBooks or a Xero?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, not really.
Like you can link the
It's
bank.
actually going to save you
It's
time.
by linking the bank up. It's like you're getting more visibility, and they're like, really? Those sort of questions. It does.
Yeah, and we've got to adapt to it. It's fast paced. It's moving. We need to all be aware, whether it be ourselves, whether it be a team member or a consultant, to keep relevant. I see all these things online about accountants and bookkeepers are not going to have jobs in 10, 20 years' time. And there is that kind of fear a little bit. I don't think that, it's not going to be nothing. I do think there is going to be a massive impact on us.
Yeah, I think the same process happened when cloud came around, right? All of the old school accountants thought they're not going to have a job because businesses are going to be able to run their own bookkeeping using Xero and QuickBooks, right? Because it's online cloud-based software that they can all understand. And there's a few examples that we've had. Like, we have businesses come direct to XBert to look at using us to kind of analyze their Xero files. And the amount of times that I just want visibility over my finances because I speak to my accountant once a year. And you're like, well, you've got a group of companies, you've got 4 businesses or 5 businesses that you're all running on Xero, and you've got no visibility across your finances whatsoever in those 5 businesses. And it is scary, but also I see it as a massive opportunity for firms that are really proactive and can show that value.
We like you say, the AI journey. We're obviously okay. We do the compliance and it has to happen, but I'm going to be absolutely honest. There's probably over half of our client base are not interested in their accounts. They don't know what they're looking at. No matter how much you try and we really try and throw jargon at them, they're just generally not interested. So what we're doing is we've been teaching ChatGPT to come up with a pack designated to each client. So it reads the accounts, pull out the information they want. We're checking it. So basically we're saying, like, here's your accounts to sign. Here's what you need to know.
Yeah.
But we're doing it with management accounts. So what do you want from your management accounts? Okay, well, I mentioned we use Fathom earlier, and we actually use XBert, and it's like we're using XBert more to teach to create that hone in on a few more things that they want to see, and we just whip it out, put it into Okay, Microsoft PowerPoint, nice and nice glitzy thing. Send it to them.
Nice.
So, and that's what we're doing. We're using one to feed to the other. So we're just moving. We are checking it. Of course we are. We have to. We're asking a few more questions. Like, have you thought that, have you considered this allowance? Have you thought that factored in this bit of seasonality at this part of the year? So we're fully in control of it. It's just the process has gone from taking 2 to 3 hours to probably less than 10, 15 minutes, if I'm honest.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So it's gone. We'll keep going.
You're back.
I'm back.
Back in the room. It's like,
I'm back in the room.
guest
Back
appear.
in the room.
I've made a point. We've
Guest
left us
appear.
on tenterhooks. Leave the room and come back. You're like, okay, what did he say?
As we're talking about technology, people.
Yeah, we talk about Gamma.
Gamma.
No,
Yeah,
you just went. You just froze.
Gamma is a really, really good. Gamma's a really, really good product. I used it the other day, and it works really well. And I think that draws back to a point that I've been making quite a lot. It's like AI is not going to replace people; it's going to amplify them. It just makes you more efficient and amplifies the work that you're doing. Like, you're the guys that know your clients the best, right? And like James said, there's going to be some clients that they could care less about the P&L. They don't want to look at a balance sheet. They don't want to read those numbers, but you know what they want to know. So let's extract the information out of that they want to know and put it into a presentation, put it into a PDF that I can just be like, here you go. Here's everything you need to know. Like, we'll manage everything else, but just so you've got eyes on it, here's what you need to know. And that's where the humans come into it, right? Because there's no way that an AI is going to be able to know that business as well or that person as well as you're ever going to be able to know.
No, I put a post out, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, about the fact that we had a client come to us and said, I've done my accounts on ChatGPT. They brought the TB out with the last year's comparative in, stuck it into ChatGPT, and it produced a set of accounts. And I was like, wow. And I looked at it, and it's a very nice, polished document, but it was wrong. Because okay, but this is our particular client who look after their own. They look after their own bookkeeping. So whilst we talk to them through the year, we don't do the bookkeeping. So instantly was like, looks is like, it's wrong. You've got so many things in different places. So as much as it's done a polished document, it was wrong. The figures were not right. Your stuff in the balance sheet that should be in the P&L and vice versa. And they were like, oh, okay, so I still need you, sort of thing. I was like, yes, you do.
So basically embrace the technology, but with caution.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the message that I think all three of us are saying is there to basically make our lives easier, and that's one thing I'm a big advocate for.
Yeah, one of the worst things one of the worst experiences I have from a vendor's perspective is someone is just coming and looking at a software just because they've heard that it's good, or they want to use AI in their business, not because they've actually got a problem that they want to fix, or they will need to find a solution for something. Like, it's very difficult to sell something to someone if they haven't got something to fix with that solution that you're trying to sell to them. Like, yes, we can crowbar it in, but then they're just going to churn in 3 months' time when they're not seeing the value, because actually that wasn't a gap in their process, or there wasn't a problem there for them.
Do you find, Will, that obviously, well, I'm asking you the question now, obviously, from being your side of the table, which is, the big counters sort of like they realise you're up and coming and they book on, and then they just kind of bring it in, but don't actually utilise you fully and how to integrate it. Do you see that?
Are you talking about me?
Oh, sorry. No, it wasn't, but yeah, you are one of them.
I'll explain why in a minute.
I think that obviously does happen. I think there's 2 parts to that, right? I think what a lot of people don't see it as is a 2-way relationship with the vendors. Like, yes, we'll try and we'll do everything we can to onboard you, but you do actually need to put some effort in. Like, you need to have the time to be able to implement something, and if you haven't, then there's no point in you coming on that hour-long demo and taking an hour out of your time to sit on an onboarding call and then actually do nothing with it. You need to carve out a bit of time to be able to actually use the software. Yes, it might be that you're spending more time for that first 2-3 weeks, but actually most of the systems that you're going to implement are going to save you time in the following 3, 4, 6, 12 months, right? So you've got to speculate to accumulate sometimes.
Yeah, and I agree. You've got to put the time in. I might have the ideas of what the tech we want to use, but also I'm not the person to make sure that we
100%. And that's another big issue as well, is the majority of the times the partner or the person that runs the firm is the biggest bottleneck, and they're the worst person to deal with. Not in a sense that in a sense that they just they understand it and they really want to use it, but they're not the people that are using it on a day-to-day basis.
No,
so,
I've learned my lesson with that, and that's why my advice would be to anyone who's looking at new tricks, new bits of kit or anything like that, is you get someone get the team to look at it first before you do. Get them to have a play. Set of questions to ask the vendor to sort of then because they're the ones that are going to benefit from it.
Like Amy said, the spreadsheets work for her and her team, and I presume that's probably feedback from your team, right? They want to carry on using the spreadsheets in their workflows because they haven't found anything that kind of fits the way that they want to work yet, and I'm sure they will eventually. But
we're going to outgrow it at some point.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'd say there's 5 of us. I've got some part-timers and whatnot. And it's all right for now, but we're growing every day, and at some point it's going to be scrolling down, and there's the fear of missing something. So we will need to then embrace workflow somewhere else. Coming back to the time side of it, this is why, and I'm one of those people. I'm the partner. I'm the only senior person. I went, oh, shiny new. I need this. I did have someone that I wanted to embrace the XBert life. I don't have them anymore, and I didn't have the time.
Yeah.
Now I am finding that a lot of my clients are asking for more of that pack, that report pack, but I don't have the time to look at the software to set it out. I don't have those 2 hours. So that's for me. I need to go out and look at these digital transformation consultants and get someone to help me implement that, to do it for me, to save me time, because I want to be able to be more of an advisory role to my clients. So I'm not necessarily doing as much as I could on the advisory side. I mean, I've always loved a bit of compliance, but I need to move with the times, and I need to find that support somewhere. So I'll reach out to people, and I'll also reach out to the community. So, like I did say to James, obviously he's got his XBert set up with you. Can I just copy it? Well, that's not necessarily going to work for my firm.
Well, no, I'm not going to lie either. The team, what I had the idea of using, and the team of Team could do it to make it better. There's other things that we're adding on, and and we're going to review it again next week because there's some,
That kind of moves onto another point. Like, how do you go about, or how have you gone about choosing software for your practice? Like, is it that kind of, oh, something new, I'm going to go and try it out? Or is it a case of you kind of lean on your peers, or you lean on other people? What do you guys go through? What process do you go through?
We get approached by software vendors.
Yeah,
if you want to use this, and I will look at, I'll be like, yes, fine, and then I'll sleep on it and go, actually, let's not waste that time, and let's not waste my time.
Yeah.
And probably in the early days, I was more, I need to know everything that's out there, but I wasn't talking to other accountants and bookkeepers to seeing what they were doing. Now I'm a bit more structured. Now I'm like, right, got my software that does a set of accounts, got my software that does my bookkeeping, got my software that does my CRM. Unless there's something that's particularly taking me time or wrong with it, I won't look anywhere else unless I need to, but I'm still keeping my ear to the ground, what's coming out. Like some of the things that Xbert's bringing out, I'm like, oh, I like that. I like that. So I'm still keeping an eye out, but I'm not necessarily going to take the leap until I've got the time to really investigate, speak to other accountants, see how other people are using it, integrating with other software that they've got. That's probably one thing I've fallen foul of, is I've gone and got software and not spoken about how it will help me to speak to other things using Zaps. Not that I can use Zapier at all, but again, that's when another digital transformation person will be coming to help me with that.
That's the key thing, though, isn't it? It's like you say, it's keeping your ears to the ground and seeing what others are talking about, and all this. There's a slight shift, or attending events where there are presentations and speeches about these sort of things. What shaped me was actually that the practice I trained at was so old school, and that's not a bad thing. From a training point of view, it was great, but it also shaped me how I wanted to be with our practice, which was, a lot of time was wasted on inefficiencies. And when I was then there helping run the practice, or the practice, we were looking to implement modern structure, better ways of improving efficiencies. And then, I've since gone, and I think they've gone backwards, but now they've realised they've got to go forwards again. So that, like I say, it shaped me, and that's why I was, looking at certain bits of software, and I have listened to what others have spoken about, and I have gone and tried them, and we have, used them, and then come on stand on and gone, this just doesn't fit us, it doesn't suit us, or we don't suit that particular bit of software. We're maybe not there yet, so we have to stop it and start again. Obviously, talked to Amy quite a lot about, what does she use? What does she think about this? Has she heard about this? And 9 times out of 10, she already has. I mean, it's good to have someone to bounce that sort of ideas off.
I'd also recommend to anybody listening, and probably to you guys as well, like, lean on the vendors that you're already using.
Yeah.
Like, your account manager at Ignition, your account manager at Xero, your account manager anywhere, any software that you might be using, will probably know more about the tech in the marketplace than you ever will.
Yeah.
Because you're speaking to tens or hundreds of accountants on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, knowing what they learn. We, as vendors, we all talk. We've got group chats that we're in. We know what releases are coming out. We know what fit. Like, it's part of our job to understand that software space in the accounting tech world. So, like, just ask us, like, what should we be using for this? We've got a gap here. Like, is there anything we can do for that?
I mean, like getting people from the software companies to come into the office and do something with the team. Is it possible to do that face to face? Some people like it online, and that's great. We've done it online, and I think it works. And obviously, sometimes it's like, you just need to be in the room with someone to see how they use it. What are they doing wrong, or how can it be better? And that means a face to face. And obviously, I mean, we have, as a practice, we have leaned on people. And I think it works, and we'll continue to do so.
Yeah, like, why not?
Yeah, I think there has been introductions to software from other software vendors, and it's because it works. It works in other practices. So you're right, speaking to other accountants and bookkeeping, see what theirs is like, but also getting a kind of flow of information and processes from the vendors too. It's also getting information from other accountants and bookkeepers, because they're feeding the information. So it's impossible to have a central database for all accountants of all the software, because it's changing all the time. I hear of new every single week. I found out about another bookkeeping software that I hadn't heard of, that new clients using. Logged in, and I was like, whoa, this is a whole different world for me. But I'm still able to pull out all the information, and it works for her. I'm not going to tell her to move away from it. Doesn't necessarily integrate with tax calc for doing a tax return, but cool, that's fine. It's
you work
an
around
awareness.
it, don't you? You find a workaround.
Yeah.
You find another bit
Excel.
of kit that can plug the gap, or it's that by listening to what's out there, and or actually asking the question. That's the big thing, asking people the question: has anyone used this?
What are you using that? we've got a gap here. Is there anything you use that could fix that? Like, I think the accounting and bookkeeping community is something that stands out massively about this industry for me. Like, it's such a nice vibe when you actually get involved in it and contribute. Like, obviously it's a two-way street, but if you get involved and contribute, people are so willing to help, listen, share. Like, it's fantastic. It's so nice. And I think that's a bit of a shift from what it used to be potentially. Like, maybe accountants are quite protective over their processes and how they worked previously, whereas now it's like people are willing to share their stories. Well, exactly what we're doing on here, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's important to share.
It's still a lot like that, because I think back, I've only been on my own for 2 years now. I didn't know this community existed. The only way I knew about different technologies and software that's out there was once a year going to Accountex.
Yeah.
That's the only way. And I think actually getting involved in the networking groups, a lot of these software vendors, including XBert, has their own Facebook group.
Yep.
Where you've got other people that are using it and they're asking questions and is this coming, or this has just been released. So actually, before you dive in, even take a demo, you can see how other people are using it just by the questions that they're asking to get a feel for it as well. So even if you don't have another bookkeeper or accountant that you can lean on, or you're not part of the group, go have a little scroll on Facebook, see what's going on.
Yep.
Exactly.
I'm going to end this with, if you were starting your practice again, excluding the kind of ledger platforms like your Xeros, your QuickBooks, free agents, and all of those ones, because they're kind of necessities, what would be the one tool that you would get first if you were to restart again? Like, where would you go first? Would it be, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not gonna take the words out of your mouth, but where would you start with building a bit of a tech stack?
Mine would be Ignition. So I didn't get it initially when I started, but it hits a lot of the onboarding straight away, and that's been one of my consistents from the start. So for me, that is the proposal, engagement letter, invoice, collection of direct debits all in one. So that is at the end of the day, we're all here to make money, and that software helps me make money.
Yeah, I would say for me it'd be practice management software that allows to have the onboarding engagement letters built in to send out. Obviously, we don't use Ignition, never have, but it's, for us, when we set this practice up, we didn't have a practice management software. It was done and non-controlled, like spreadsheets to begin with. And as we've evolved, we've gone that journey. But I would actually sort of say, no, do you know what? Invest in that practice management software from day one. It will really help you. It will help with the onboarding process. And then, you can latch on, you use tools like Ignition, or you've got other practice management softwares that have all the proposals built in. But make sure you've got that fundamental step in place.
Thanks so much for listening to the Bean Counter to Boss podcast. I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you could leave us a review, subscribe, that would be incredible, as it really does help to get the word out there for our little podcast. Hopefully see you again in a couple of weeks' time for the next episode.